Good morning. It's good to be with you this morning. Again, we're doing now the next part three of our series on how to use your family to build wealth, particularly marriage this time. I want to say how to use your marriage to build wealth. That is very important. And all I'm trying to emphasize in this series is that you do not need money or buildings to actually build wealth. You already have everything that God has given you to actually get started to build wealth. So in the previous session we spoke about how to use the family, but let's say you're married, how to use your marriage to actually build wealth. Okay, now there is 3 stages of human development that I want to talk about that if you are married you should know, and a lot of people do not build businesses because they do not graduate from these stages. Before I read those stages, I want us to read what the word says. It says in Proverbs 13 verse 11, I'm reading the ENT Bible. It says, wealth gained quickly will dwindle away, will soon disappear. But the one who gathers it little by little will become rich. As black people, we love, even Christians who are black, we love miracles, and that's great, but we love quickly to get things quickly. And God says, be patient, and we know patience is the fruit of the Spirit. Gather wealth little by little and you will succeed. I just want to speak in marriage, how to actually use your marriage to build wealth. So let's take, for an example, you are in a situation where your wife is working and you are not, or your husband is working and maybe you are not, or you are both working but you want to maximize your wealth. So for an example, let's talk about ladies, because men, there is a lot of business ideas, and ladies there is, but sometimes they are very shy. So let's say you have a great idea to own your own beauty spa, maybe with a hotel or a beauty spa where you have top clients coming in, and it will be unwise for you to go to your husband and say, hubby, give me money, I want to start a beauty spa. Now I'm going to start running down the road or in town and rent a huge building, buy machines. And no, you start small. Show yourself approved to God and unto men that you can work little by little. Let's start here. Human stages of development that everybody needs to know. A lot of people don't graduate from them, and then they end up wrecking the marriage and wanting too much from the husband or from the wife, something that you couldn't even demand from your parents. So let me talk about those stages, and then I'll come to a class example what you can do. The first stage is dependence. You are dependent on parent. You are young, you are born, you want milk, they give you milk. You want clothes, you cry, they clothe you and you are warm, and so on. So you are dependent, and you go to school, they give you food, money for lunch, and so on. You are dependent, you stay at their house. And then there comes a stage when you grow. Now you're going to varsity or you are working, and that stage we call it independence. You are no longer now dependent. You are independent. A lot of people don't grow, sometimes because they come from successful families or parents who actually spoil you even when you are working. So they end up wasting money. People who actually graduate and go and stay home, such ladies don't really grow. Others grow because maybe it's a poor family, so you got to build, you got to do. Others, when it's comfortable, they don't grow. Some boys as well who graduate from varsity and stay with parents, they don't grow, because if you have a successful family, they don't ask you for grocery. You do whatever you want with your money, and that becomes a disaster when you come into marriage. because you develop a very wrong way of being independent. Now, the last stage of a human being is what we call interdependent. So you've moved now from being independent, paying your own rent, doing your own things, and being an independent young woman or young man, into learning how to live with somebody else and rely on them and them relying on you. A lot of people struggle in that stage because they still want to have their own bed, they still want to have their own money, their own PIN code, their own cell phone, their own what. And they never graduate because maybe they were really treated kindly and nicely in their families, and so they end up really not maturing. That stage, that is when it breaks everyone. Whether you are raised well or not raised well, marriage is going to get you, because you are meeting with somebody who's not your brother or your sister, who's got different norms and values, and who's not a woman, and this woman is not a guy, and you are coming together to live together, and you're gonna irritate one another emotionally, socially, financially, but it's also gonna be beautiful when you are willing to grow. Now, this is when the stage then where a lot of people want to expand their incomes. Let's start with the ladies. It is unwise to just say, honey, I want to own this beauty spa. We made an example about that. Start little by little. Whenever you say, I'm an entrepreneur, I've got a great business idea, but I don't have money, you are not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs always find a way to make money without money. And God has given us, all of us, that ability. So let's make an example. So you want that and you're passionate about it, you are good at it. Your job is just to show your husband that you are good at it and you can do it. And then they will support you. And another thing, how you communicate it is very important. Include your spouse in the vision. Don't just say, I want to, hi, honey, I want to have my own spa. No. How about coming and say, hey, love, I would love us to have our own family beauty spa. And I see this as one of the projects that I want to run. And as we age and mature and maybe we retire, we have something a little that we're running that we can invest our money in and keep on growing it. So involve your spouse or your wife if you're a guy who's trying to start a business. Do not just say, I want to have my. Say, I want us to have our family. Something that we can give to our kids to run for us. And we can have more money growing, not just in the bank, but growing in a real business. So now he feels part of it, he feels involved. And now break the vision down. Instead of just wanting this beauty spa, renting it in a beautiful, expensive area, just start small. You don't need a capital. You don't need money to do this. All you got to do as a woman of God, just use the house of God. One of the things I love here, at New Nation, is people who come with business ideas and they want to use the church and to run business and to form business partnerships. I like that. And other churches, they don't like that. Don't come to church to try to use people for business. I am open to that. People must actually grow and form partnerships and money, but obviously be very smart, because other people come with other schemes that are not right. But just do your research and form partnerships, sell, buy from one another, grow. Anyway, so now, let's say you're in a church, and then you are involved in a church, in a department, and you are this any great woman of God who wants to be a businesswoman who is sowing in the house of God. You'll probably have a group of about 50 to 80 or 100 ladies that you know. And you are involved in inviting people from church, people that you are working with, friends from Facebook and so forth. You actually know, a lot of you have got more than 100 friends on Facebook. Say, instead of having hundreds, and say, let me just break the list down to about a small group of about 80 ladies I know from our church, from work, friends, and I want to start this thing. So you start You build a company again. You build your friendship with the people you're discipling in your cell group, in your church, in your work, and so on. And you say, hey, my friends, I really would like to start a beauty salon or whatever that it is. And I am trusting God for a capital. So would you please help me? And you approach them one by one. Would you please help me? Over the next 18 months, I would really like you to be my client. If you need to do braids and you need to do this hairstyle, I'm good at that. You can actually do one of the ladies for free, and you just show them your profile, the photos, and they see that you're actually good at this. And you say, can I please? Anybody that you've built a great friendship with. Also, you don't just identify everybody, you identify successful, especially married women. An average married woman, they spend about 800, between 800 to 1,500 on their hair a month. Some of them actually more than that, but on average, that's how much they spend. And you say, hey, this is basically how you know what I would love to do, and I'm trying to raise a capital. So would you please support me over the next 14 months or 18 months? And if you need to do hair, I'm available. I'll come and do it at the comfort of your own home. I'll bring everything. So you buy your chemicals, you buy your stuff, you can add your wigs in there. Now you're using small money from your pocket money that your husband gives you. It doesn't have to be something different. You're using the family budget from the grocery, you cut a little, and then you know maybe in that month we're going to eat a little bit more cabbage and beans, and so because I'm trying to save so that I can buy extra products to actually help my friends. So, and then you start. You don't have a building, but now these people, instead of driving to the mall, you come straight to their flats where they are, at their home. And these are friends. They are willing, just a small group of about 80. Let's say within those 80 people, and they're paying about somewhere an average of about 800 a month, and you are making a small profit of about 500 rand, you know, or 400, let's say 400 to be nicer, and you say, I am making 400, multiply that by the group of about 80 ladies a month. I am actually making a profit of about 32,000 rand without water and electricity, without office space, without employees, by just building friendship, building a company. Those people now, they become your company, and you make sure that you excel and you do it really well. So whenever they need to do hair, they call you and you come to their flats, to their families and so forth. They don't have to go and wait and park at the salon and get all this chemical smelling, and it's really where they want to be. And you can bring wigs to show them that, hey, I also have this Brazilian what, and some of them, they just buy now stuff that you already are selling, and their kids, you've got these 80 girls, now sometimes their kid go, mommy, I also want to do. So you actually now you have actually more than 80 ladies. So if you've been doing this for the next 3 months, basically you have made, now multiply that by 3, that's 96,000 or 100,000 if they include their ladies, their girls. Then now you start saying, hey, my friend, this month I would like to do it for free. If you bring just 3 more people, 3 more friends, just 3 more friends from work. They know people you don't know. And if each person brings just a small group of friendships of about 3, now instead of having 80, you are basically having now 80, multiply that by 3, you've got 240 friends in that city, that town. And you are not paying rent, space. water and electricity. You are using their own water and at their own comfortable place and so forth and so on. And now you can eventually now even have a few young ladies that are unemployed that are actually helping you. Now think about this, 240 people, multiply that by 400 profit that you're actually making. You are now making 96,000 rand a month. And you do not have buildings and so forth. So if that now start growing the word of mouth, and if each time they bring a friend, you do it for free, and then people, you will be amazed what they're going to do for you. And then now when you start now to actually grow your customer base, oh, by the way, let me just tell you, if you multiply that, after 3 months, each person brings 3 and then you do it for free. If you multiply that 96,000 profit that you're actually making, you multiply that by 1 year, you have actually made 1,152,000. You are even now are ready to actually employ a few other young ladies to actually help you to do this. You are now ready to actually start renting and owning your own space, but you don't have to go to the bank. You just can use your spiritual family. You use your discipleship as you actually disciple the people of God. The word of God says, ask of me and I'll give you nations of the world as your inheritance. So the nations of the world are basically our inheritance. Why do I allow people in my church to do business meetings and to actually do business amongst one another? It's because the church is a spiritual family, but also to equip one another so that people, they can have inheritance, something they can inherit. It's a church is a place where people can come and get a wife, a husband, get marriage, get healing, benefit. It's not just a social club that is useless. It's an environment where we can equip one another. They are equipping you as a pastor. They are praying for you. They are serving in that vision. They are giving. You are giving back, but you're also allowing them to partner with one another and grow and form a strong bond. And there it is, ladies. There you are, ready to start your own beauty, beauty spa, and you are making over 1 million rand per annum, and you're able to do, well, the sky is the limit after that. Now you can start having a space where people can come and do business and do their hair and so forth, and you can make more and have employees and machines and so on, and you can pay rent. But you started with just what you have, from the grocery money that you cut from what the husband is giving you, or what you have as a lady. And the good thing about this is that it's flexible working hours. You can say, I'll come after office hours this Wednesday. I will come this Saturday at your flat or at your home, and so on. And a lot of people actually are very comfortable to open their homes, to open their hair, and in the private of their own homes, and have a private person to actually do their hair. And this is not too complicated. But all I want to know, I wanted to know is that you already have everything that God has given you. Open your mouth and speak. Be friendly. Disciple people in that church. Form friendships. Don't just sit on your talent. Just work it out. Work it out. There are many other ideas I can share with ladies. Those of you who are good at baking exceptional tasty cakes, or who can cook, and what you can actually do to actually maximize your finances. The sky is just the limit. All I'm just trying to show you is that it is important to build company than running a company first. So those 80 ladies, they are now your company. You give them discounts, you do things for free, you treat them nice. Even when you start to have your own place where they can come, they get exclusive attention and so forth. Why? Because those are your company. They give you money without you having to have an office or space or a rented place. You must always know that to start a company, it's very important you start by building people and forming a friendship. And once you form a good friendship with people, people invest for free. And then you are able to do things and reach the masses, the other customers. So that's basically what I wanted to share with you from the lady's perspective. If I have some more time in another part, I will share, for an example, how a husband can actually start a business using your marriage finances, just what you are eating, and picking just a little, how you can actually use that. Now, when you say happy, I've just made over R1 million without office space, just having 80 ladies that are in our cell groups in our church. I would love you to invest. The husband is more than willing. He's going to tell you, my entire bonus this year is actually, I'm going to sink it into this beauty spa business. Why? Because he can see how you actually used just 800 rand from the grocery and you turned it into something huge. Now you've shown yourself approved before men and before God. I started my ministry using CDs. I had no equipment, I had no keyboard, I had no guitar, had nothing. The only thing I had was just 2 speakers and use my laptop to connect and play music, and people will just come in there. And then music from the laptop will be playing and we'll just worship. Others laughed. And look at where I am today. You don't need money, you need company, which is people. Start being friendly. Start being friendly. Start joining a church. Disciple people so that you can actually build a company. Somebody might say that's a bad motive. You should just go to church for God. Well, do that if you want to. But God doesn't mind you serving so that you can be blessed, so that you can actually build yourself. There is no crime in that. I love people who come to our church because they want to disciple people and start businesses and using those people. I love that. And I want people to use me. Say, Pastor, I really would love to do suits, man, and I would love you to buy suits. I wanna start this tailoring business, and I love people like that, and I'm willing to support because I understand the importance of a company. Company are loyal people to you who are willing to give when you have nothing, and then you start to have a business and you run. Right now, I'm going to end there. That's just an example I wanted to use on family, and that those are the 3 stages of human development. When you're being interdependent, now you can share finances, you can love one another, you can support one another's goals and dreams, but do not make it a burden on your husband or your wife and start demanding too much capital. Just ask a little or use a little that you've already been given to maximize through friendships, and those friendships are company. So a company is people, not a business. A business is what you are running. So the Bible says, he who gathers little by little. I know these examples that I'm making, they take too long because you're approaching one person at a time, but you are building a lasting friendship. Those people are going to support you over the next 18 months, sometimes some of them they stick, even after 18 months they never leave, but you already have a permanent company, permanent friendship. So that's what I want us to say, and enjoy, grow, pray, and trust God for more. Use the little that we have. Remember the word of God, Proverbs 13 verse 11, he who gets money by haste, it shall dwindle away. But he who gathers money little by little shall make it grow. Stop hasting. Be patient. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.